What's up, family? My name is Jonathan Duong, and I made over $1 million wholesaling vacant land. As promised, I'm gonna jump on here and just speak about my journey and how we were able to go from 6 to 7 figures, from where we started to make our first 6 figures, and hopefully where we're headed, right? So, we started the journey in 2020, and I believe I worked my last job in 2019. I was doing timeshare resales. Basically, people want to buy timeshare on the secondary market, so that's your buyer. Then you have sellers that want to get out of their timeshare, and then you make a percentage of what's in the middle. So I kind of understood being a middleman and providing value to both sides. So it was a nice job, but the pivotal part of my journey was I started to pick up my Bible again and started seeking God and trying to build my relationship and just gain my faith. And once I started doing that, I started to watch less TV and I started to read more books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, and something just switched in my mindset, right? I started to watch more podcasts and just educate myself about different things when it comes to the monetary system, to how I've been programmed, to what I thought was right because other people told me instead of verifying the information. There was a lot going on. And I remember in 2019, I went into my boss's office and I said, hey, I'm gonna be going to Massachusetts to visit my family, but unfortunately, this is gonna be my last day here, right? Why I did that impulsively like that, I have no idea, and I do not recommend that at all, right? My advice to you is, if you got a job and they treating you good and you enjoy it and you want to start another business like you're wholesaling vacant land, at least make what you're making at your job or more, and then have that conversation with yourself if you want to go full wholesaling land or if you want to keep it part-time, whatever you want to do, right? But yeah, once I did that, I had to find a way. And this is before I did any research about business ventures, about starting a business. It was more on mindset and reading my Bible and gaining my faith. So when I made that switch, I had no idea what I was going to do. And that's when I went on the rabbit hole. YouTube, more podcasts, started reading more books, and I got into real estate. I wanted to get into real estate because Rich Dad, Poor Dad kind of made that switch. I'm like, okay, real estate. Then jumped on YouTube, how can I make money in real estate? Wholesaling land pops up, make 10,000, 100,000 with $0. I'm like, that's me. I ain't got no money, right? So one big mistake I did was I was doing too much studying and not enough action. I was literally studying for 5 to 6 to 7 months, and I had all the information I needed to get started within the first month, but I started to ask questions that had nothing to do with making money. Just anything that could stop me from taking action. What about this? What if this happens? What if this happens? And I start to see that in people that are getting started as well, and I understand because I've been there, right? We have analysis paralysis, that's what they call it, right? So from that part of the journey, I started to see wholesaling houses and wholesaling land, and then I seen some people doing good. They were sending direct mail to landowners of about 40 to 50% of market value. They would purchase it, list it on the retail market, and make what's in the middle. So they were essentially land flipping using their own capital. But I'm like, I can't do that. I ain't got no money, right? So I was like, okay, maybe I should do their method of marketing, which was direct mail. And just instead of taking it down and listening on market, just wholesale it, right? Maybe I could do that. So that's what we did. Took out a credit card to get the course. That was probably like 2 bands, and that's a lot of money when you ain't got no money, right? So yeah, we started sending direct mail to landowners in Point Siena, Florida. If you're in the Florida market, you understand that market is consistent. You can close deals. I was closing deals probably like every year there from when I got started. So sent some offers out. I got a call from a business owner. He owned 3 lots under an LLC. I had no idea what to do after. So I sent the contract, he signed it. I sent it to the title company, New Beginnings Title. I still work with them till this day. My dog Thomas over there walked me through this deal because I had no idea what I was doing, right? and I started looking for a buyer. Second, huge mistake. I sent the mail out, I got a lot under contract, I started looking for a buyer. What was the mistake? I stopped marketing, right? So most people that got the lot under contract, they're looking for a buyer. If worse comes to worse, they're gonna cancel the deal, right? If they can't find a buyer and get it closed, then they start all over, start marketing again. So you might have to wait another month, another 2 months to start getting leads, and depending on what marketing channel you're using, but we're talking specifically direct mail, right? So I stopped and I started looking for a buyer. I started posting on Facebook. I started trying to use LinkedIn and Google builders in the area. Could not find a buyer. And then I posted it in another Facebook group, and a company reached out to me and said they had a buyer. But being savvy like I am now, understanding the land business, they didn't have a buyer. They just knew how to get buyers. So it was like a dispo company. They focused on helping people get their deals sold. So I told him how much we were asking, and he's like, oh, we might have a buyer, but we probably can't do that price. So I was like, just see if you have a buyer. And they came back, they said, we have a buyer, but at this price. So they were trying to negotiate me down to negotiate my seller down, right? So I was like, okay, that's cool. So we ended up doing that, and I was able to negotiate the seller down. And this is the beginning, this is like the beginning of my land journey, but it's going towards the end of 2020. And mind you, I quit my job in 2019, so I had no income coming in. I hadn't, no money, and I'm in debt. So I'm like, I definitely want this deal to close. They come back and they're like, yeah, our buyers are ready to go. So I reached out to the title company. They assisted me on sending out the assignment to the partner, the JV partner that had the buyer. They got it signed, and we all know what was going on in 2020, right? There was a lot of fear everywhere. There's a lot of people lying to us, right? About, you guys know what's going on. And yeah, so the buyer ended up getting sick, saying that they got a flu, right? And it was tough. So we had to extend it, addendum. Then we had to send another addendum. It was just a lot of obstacles to go through for your first deal. So finally, we have the JV partner said, okay, the buyers they want to back out. But when I heard that, I called the title company, and I'm talking to them, and I'm like, what do we do from here? And he said, hey, they're actually out of their due diligence period, so they would actually lose their escrow deposit, and it was $5,000. So I told him, hey, I'm sorry about that, but we're kind of past the due diligence period. We would have to keep your deposit. And the JV partner relayed that to the buyers, and the buyers like, okay, we'll just close on it then. And they ended up closing on it. So that was my first deal, right? I got the HUD before the deal was actually funded. And I'm looking at the HUD and it says Jonathan Dewan, because I don't have an LLC, $1,000. And then it has the JV company's name there, and they're making $3,500 off of each lot. I made $1,000 off of each lot. They made $3,500 off of each lot. Ooh, I felt so played. Oh, man. And then you guys gotta understand, I'm making the transition of what I used to do and who I used to be and the mentality I used to have. So I called out and I was snapping. I'm like, yo, no, we're not gonna do all that, whatever. And then I sat down and I humbled myself. I'm like, it don't matter if I make $50 a deal. We know this. As long as I get my name, a check with my name on it, I'm good. I want that proof of concept, right? So I called them and I was like, yeah, let's just move forward. Let's get this done. So we're able to get it done, and I closed my first deal. So I say that to say this: in the whole year of 2020, in my transition from working my W-2 to becoming an entrepreneur and starting my business, I made $3,000 that whole year, dude. Yeah, I did a lot of studying, a lot of making excuses, but we were able to get the deal closed. I got the proof of concept, and it was up from there, right? So 2021, still treating it as a hobby, but we're getting deals closed. And then I end up coming across a probate deal. I had no idea what to do. So I met a probate attorney, and we just met at an event, and I'm like, hey, I'm kind of going through this, and they're like, yeah, call them up right now. That's what they was on. Call them up right now. I called them up right now. I was like, hey, I got my probate attorney with me. Let's see what we can do. And then they jumped on, and they're like, yeah, we could work on this right now. So they worked on that, and then I remember to this day, because I was calling all my friends, I was calling all my family. I got a check with my name on it. I still don't got an LLC for $43,000, dude. $43,000. And here's a third mistake I made, right? I got a good heart, so I'm calling all my people, my boys, people from up north, my family members, cousins, aunties, uncles. I'm like, hey, I found something that works, right? And I was doing this because I wanted people to understand that there was another way, but I didn't have myself solidified, and I was wasting too much trying to help people that either didn't want to be helped or just weren't ready to be helped, instead of just showing them by action, right? Showing them by doing it. So yeah, it was such a blessing though. I got that, I was like, 43,000? And we ended up, closing a couple other deals, starting understanding the intricacies of finding a good market research, right? And I still do the market research in my business till this day, because there's certain things I look for, right? And I break it down in detail with, my inner circle and stuff, but there's some plays where I'll jump into a market because I want to do a volume play. I'll make 3,000 to 5,000 on a land deal, but I'll try to do, multiple deals. But then there's those sniper plays where I just try to, get a certain deal with the meat on the bone, and you're able to make 50, 60, 70,000. And I'm talking about assignment fees. I'm not talking about, I see when you are in the business and you are watching people teach the business, you kind of see the things that they do, but a lot of things I see is like, a guru might buy a lot for 50 and sell it for 70, and then they'll post their $70,000 check, right? And I understand it's a marketing purposes, so to each his own, that's cool. But I like to be transparent. Here's the HUDs, this is what we made, this is what the realtor made if there was a realtor involved, this is how I found the buyer, this is how I found the seller, right? Especially with those around me that really want to learn. So yeah, there's some of my people that I grew up with, they were with it. So we actually partnered up, doing some deals together, JVing, splitting it 50-50. And some people, I just taught them the game, they ran with it, closed their first deal. So that was amazing. It's such a good feeling when people just have that light bulb turn on. And it's not even about wholesaling land, it's just understanding that there's another way, because sometimes we're doing things on autopilot because we feel like that's all we can do, right? So it's just opening people's minds to see the opportunities that are in front of them. But 2020 was a blessing, 2021 was a blessing, 2022 we started to do a little better, still didn't go all in. It was a blessing still, a lot of learning, a lot of lessons, of course. 2023 we did pretty good. That was actually when I hired my first VA and started trying to build a team, started building out systems, started building out workflows, started building out procedures, and actually taking it serious, right? So we did pretty good, right? And then in 2024 we just smashed it, because we've had so much data to look back on what's working and what's not working, and what mailers are working, and adding different marketing channels, and just doing these things that cannot be done if you've been only doing the business for a year or 2 years. Like, this is data that you're gonna get from years and years of marketing and talking to buyers and builders and being on the scene and building relationships at events. So I always recommend that. Find a community. I have a community, a free community. It's High Value Land Group on Facebook. I'm also gonna have a paid community, but you don't have to join mine, just join some community. Anybody that you can get with that are actually in the business right now, today, not talking about what they did 5-10 years ago, right? and that can help you on your journey to when you get stuck, to answer your questions, to show you what works, to show you what doesn't work, to show you what you can fine tune in your business, right? So yeah, 2024, another thing we did differently though was we started taking down deals because we started to have capital sitting that wasn't really doing much. And some people don't agree with that, but that's fine. I know when I buy a lot in a certain market, it's because I've been in that market. I've already wholesaled tens of 20s, 50s, hundreds of deals in these markets. And I know that if I buy this lot, I can sell it for this amount. And instead of just wholesaling lots now, I was taking lots down. I was making an extra $20, $30, $40, $50,000 by listing it on the market and selling it to a retail buyer instead of just wholesaling it to builders. So that brought up our income substantially as well. Our workflows really helped when it comes to filtering out leads, to only focus on the good leads that are in front of us. That helped. The sniper plays when it came to finding these markets where lots are selling for like $250,000 and we're just trying to hunt and trying to get one at 180, 190, see what we can do, even 200. And understand that it's a little different to find a buyer in these markets, because these builders that we usually work with, whether it be Holiday DR, they're not building spec homes on these luxury lots, right? So you have to find a certain type of builder, a certain type of developer, or it could just be a retail buyer. So when it came to that, I worked with a lot of realtors that helped me find buyers and builders, and I started to understand the process that way. I just add value to people and I learn on the way. And with any business venture you do, I'm pretty sure you can win that way too. So I'm gonna go more detail on the high value land group, but I just wanted to throw some gems out there. Hopefully they help you on it's possible to make 7 figures in the land business. And I've closed $1,000 deals. I've closed $10,000 deals. I've closed $100,000 deals. I haven't closed $1 million deals, but I know people in the land business that have different exit strategies, whether it be entitlements, they might be subdivided, whatever they're doing, they're making millions of dollars on one deal. So the possibilities are endless, but you just gotta see them. You gotta have the knowledge to see, okay, this market might be good for this, or this market is better for infills, or this might be acreage plays or entitlement plays, whatever it might be. And I'm still learning that. I'm learning different exit strategies. I'm trying to get around people that are actually in the business, and just surrounding myself with good people, right? Community is very important. When I first started the business, that was a huge mistake, as I was trying to do everything alone. I wasn't trying to network out, whatever it might be. Even this year, in the last 6 months or so, it's hard to respond to my messages because I'm putting together a community for people that want to scale and people that want to close their first deal. It's going to be a paying community though. It's called the High Value Circle. And yeah, I gave free content out for a whole year, family. And there's people that reach out to me that need extra help. So I do paid Zoom calls. Sometimes I do one-on-one mentorships, but it's very rare. Like, we have to hop on a Zoom call and I gotta see if it's gonna be a mutual understanding. I give little tasks. If we jump on a Zoom call and you don't do the task, I'm like, hey, it's not gonna work, but it doesn't mean you're not gonna win. It's just we're not the right fit. But I do group coaching, and I'm gonna put together a community that's gonna feel like the High Value Land Group when we first got started. There's only a couple hundred people in the group, and it was very intimate. We all knew each other. We was all helping each other. We was all seeing what's working for you, what's working for you, what's working for you. We was implementing new ideas and just trying to grow. So I definitely missed that atmosphere. So I want to put it back together. But yeah, man, it's been a journey looking back at 2024. The numbers we hit have been amazing, sensational. And I just, I pray we all continue to win. We all continue to be at service and help each other and count others more important than ourselves, right? So yeah, if you want to join the High Value Land Group, come join us on Facebook. The wait list is going to be open soon for the high value circle, where it's going to be a paid community. If that's not okay with you, that's fine. For those that want the extra help, let me know. And the next goal is 8 figures. So I'll give y'all an update on that. I appreciate y'all, family, and I hope y'all have a blessed year, man. Let's go.